All right, folks, Racers Elite fans, welcome back for another great night of Tuesday night truck racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I will be your broadcaster along with, my name is John Russ, along with Russ Martin. Russ, how are you doing tonight?
Well, John, I am a little cold. We are in the negatives up here in the Northeast, but it looks like this action is about to get kind of hot here in Charlotte tonight.
Yeah, when you look at this is going to be round three of our Tuesday night truck series. I'm really excited about this. I'm really pumped up about Charlotte, Russ, because I can tell you when I think about what's going on with oval and what we do, I think Charlotte, if you really wanted to name your top 5 tracks, Charlotte Motor Speedway has got to be on it. And we have the trucks here tonight as they're going through qualifying. You can see Dennis Kane is going to be your first out on the track. We can see if we can get some views of these drivers going around the track. But you've got to think of Charlotte when you think of oval.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to be easily one of the top fives that, any driver really wants to win on, outside of like, Daytona or Bristol, even, Charlotte's one that's definitely marked on a lot of drivers' calendars, especially in in the Cup Series, because you got that Coke 600 is one of those prime races that you would definitely want to win.
And this intermediate track, folks, and as we get into this, it's a little bit different than your normal Kansas tracks or some of those other mile and a halfs that you think of, in the fact that the banking is a little tricky here. This track can get loose on exit, especially the exit of 4. In the trucks, you're going to have some draft dependency, and you're going to see just a little bit of pack racing here too. But the other thing, Russ, is it's really a 3 groove track. You've got the low line, you've got the middle line, and you can run the top here for a short period of time. So all of those things are going to come into account early on in this race.
Yeah, you can definitely take it three wide. I mean, we see it quite a bit. High line is known to chew your tires up a little bit more, but if you are fast out there and you're looking to make a pass, you can definitely get it done on that outside line. But you definitely want to be on the bottom, bottom feed to save your tires a little bit too. And especially right now, I mean, the track temperature right now as these guys are qualified is at 119 degrees. So she's warm, she's slick, as you can see right there. She's warm, she's slick. Drivers are going to be on the loose side. It's going to your tire saving is going to come into effect in this race.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and you can see, folks, you can see that little that seam that you see the 10 truck kind of crossing over there. You're going to see some trucks be able to use that to get some good turn on the exit of this track. But I want to go back because it looks like Russ, we have about 25 drivers that's going to start this race. I want to show as we have the standings, and we're going to pull this up. I'm going to hide our qualifying for just a minute so we can take a look. We are, again, this will be race 3, but as we stand, Russ, we've got Brandon Honeycutt with that fantastic win at Talladega on the first race. Alex Teff coming home with a great win last week. But you've got Brandon, Rowan Lloyd is going to be second in points, Alex Teft in third, Truth is going to be in fourth, and then it looks like Dennis Kane is going to round out your top 5. But as we go through the top 10, Lee Campbell, Sean Dunaway, Timothy Wright, Robert Yost, and then Kinsley Smith is going to round out your top 10. So some pretty tight battles already this season. And man, I can't be more excited to see these drivers take on this Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's going to make it really interesting. Like you said, Brandon Honeycutt, current points leader. I've raced against Honeycutt in the past, and he's fast just about anywhere he goes. He's definitely one to keep your eye on, even in this race. Even San Filippo, Brandon San Filippo, is another one. I've raced against him too, and he ran in another truck series that I was a part of, and he was very competitive there. So he may be another one to keep an eye out on. And obviously, Truth Hope, currently P1 on the board with a 37.56. Another one to keep your eye out on.
And I will tell you with Truth, and I've seen him have some fantastic runs, and I will tell you one of the most impressive things about that 55 truck is it seems like he's getting better and better and better every week. And you look at Kinsley Smith. I believe he had a fantastic run in the next gen car last week. So he's coming into a lot of different vehicles. He's driving the trucks. He's driving the ARCA cars. I've seen him in the B class cars. He's over here in the trucks running second. So you've got to look out for him. And I know that everybody likes to really coin Kinsley as one of those plate racers, but he's fast everywhere. Troy Thomas, kind of a really good, solid driver up here in third. Pretty shocking right now on the board at a 30.79. So you can see, Russ, how tight all of these times are already as we're going through this qualifying.
Yeah, these lap times they're really close, which tells us we should see some really good door banging action as this race gets closing in on the end of it.
Yeah, we're going to see a little bit of that, and I can tell you one of those things that these drivers are thinking about as they're completing their qualifying is going to be talking to their teammates about what the fuel strategy is, about how long they can go, tire saving, and I will tell you that. A lot of the times on these intermediate tracks, you don't think is Blair Holloman is going to take over your top spot at a 30.68. And as I kind of break away from what I was talking about to talk about Blair for just a second, as you see the 33 truck getting loose a little bit on entry there, Blair winning so many races last year, that's another driver that you can't count out. And I really think that if I were making a pick tonight, that might be my driver that I'm going to pick to take the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he had a fantastic season last year, and it's like you were saying, these drivers who are multifaceted with different series, especially in iRacing. The more you run, the more facets of iRacing that you're running. Next gen, Xfinity, trucks, ARCA. It doesn't matter. Your skills improve the more you run, and a lot of these guys they run those multiple series. Even races the elites got races every night of the week. And a lot of these guys run multiple nights a week with them in the in the Cup Series or what have you. So a lot of those guys that run multiple series are the ones you got to watch out for because they're the ones that have the skill to do it.
And I will tell you for those, Jesse Fox in the chat saying, hello, guys. Jesse, 14th so far on the board. Nice run, man. Hoping to see you in that top 10 and hopefully fighting for a podium the rest of the night. But I will tell you for all of those that are watching, on the Racers Elite Network, we certainly appreciate that. Make sure you give us a like, and if you have not subscribed, do that. But if you want to come and race and race in one of these series, that's pretty easy too. You can go to their Discord. You go to Racers Elite on the Facebook page, and we are going to be live, Russ. From what I've heard today, we've got probably about another month to go to validate the Facebook, but it looks like we're going to be able to go live on there soon. So you're going to be able to see us in 3 different locations on Tuesday nights, and that's going to be right now on Twitch and YouTube, and then we're going to add Facebook here in about a month.
That's going to be great. If you're not already a follower on Facebook for Races Elite, make sure you go in and give them a like and a follow, and let's get that third broadcasting channel up and running.
Yeah, I completely agree. And if you're out there and you want us to highlight a driver and talk about a driver, certainly let us know because we'll be happy to zoom in on them and give them a little bit of airtime as it looks like we're going to have qualifying starting to wind down. I do believe, Russ, we're going to have about 25 drivers that are going to take the green flag tonight. We've got about 21 that have qualified so far. So right now, as it stands, your top 10 in qualifying is going to be Blair Holloman with a 30.68, Truth Hoke a 30.75, Kinsley Smith right behind Truth at a 30.78, Troy Thomas 30.79, Sanfilippo 30.86, Archibald 30.87, Sean Dunaway 30.87 as well. Andrew Teft is going to be a 30.89, Lee Campbell 30.9, and so is Lloyd at a 30.9, rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, then we got Dennis Kane starting in P11, looks like with a 30.922. Tim Wright in P12. Honeycutt clocked in a 30.964, take P13. And Charles Mazdell in 14th, Rob Yost in 15th. Alex Steff laid down a 31.052 for P16. Curtis Ecker in 17th. Jesse Fox in 18th. Kirby Wayne Scott 19th. Hugh Escobar in P20.
Yeah, so as you look at that, we're going to round this field out for a qualifying run at with Gates at a 31.25 starting in 21st. But you know what is one of those things that I really saw and I noticed here is that you've got your two race winners and Alex Teft and Brandon Honeycutt, you know, starting 13th and below on there. So that kind of tells you the parity that we have here in the Racers Elite Series on Tuesday nights. And as you can see in true Charlotte fashion, everybody's going to line up, you know, and they're going to stagger themselves here on the front stretch for all of the fans to wave to them before we get started. But we have 105 laps, Russ, and we do have one fast repair in this league and in this series. So I do think when you start this race, what's kind of on your mind? What's going through your mind as you get this thing started? Are we wanting to lead laps? Are we wanting to settle in and save tires? What's the strategy here?
Well, for me, anytime I run at Charlotte, my number one focus is tire saving. Like I said earlier, this track can chew your tires up, and you kind of want to make sure you have good tires for a long haul in case we get a long green flag run. I mean, this track right now is still about 119, 120 degrees, so it could be slick. You could be seeing guys getting loose on corner entry, corner exit, a little too quick to the throttle. We could see some spinning and wrecks. It could be a caution fest, or everybody could settle in and we could see a nice long green flag run. And you get those long green flag runs, you definitely want tires. You want to make them last.
Yeah, I do think so, and I think you have a lot of new drivers to the series that's still going to be out here wanting to make a name for themselves. And you've got the previous year's champion in that 32 truck that's going to start on the pole position. So congratulations to Blair Holman for taking home the pole. And again, we talked about Truth a little bit before, and he is on the outside. So I do think that you're going to see some of these drivers come and go, and we're going to keep an eye on them as we see some of those trying to save tires, maybe even trying to save a little bit of fuel as we go through the night. But you're going to see some extreme tire wear in these trucks. One of the things, even after the update, Russ, I think one of the things they got to watch out for, we're going to keep an eye on, it's going to be that right front tire wear, especially at Charlotte, right in the apex of the turn. If you carry a lot of speed into that turn, which you can with the high banking that Charlotte has, it does like to chew up that right front tire. So we're going to see some comers and goers throughout the night as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's definitely no doubt that the right front can easily wear 10 to 15% more than what your left sides do.
Yeah, I do believe so. As we are going to get ourselves ready, so we're going to head up to the starter cam. As you can see, that pace car is going to dip in, and Blair Holloman is going to bring them to the start of this thing. Green flag in the air. And here we go. Blair Holloman is going to get a pretty solid start. Truth Host going to tuck right in behind. He's going to pick up a little bit of draft through turn 1 and 2. Kinsley Smith holding strong at the bottom. Looks like everybody, we are clean and green right now, Russ, as it looks like just a few cars still hugging that inside line as Kinsley Smith's going to fight for second.
Yeah, something I'm noticing already, even on this first lap, is guys jumping up there to that outside, trying to see if there's any more speed up there than what they can get off of the bottom. Like I said, there is speed up there on that top side, but you don't want to do it for very long, I don't think.
No, I completely agree, and we're going to find out throughout the night. It looks like Blair is going to take that higher entry into that turn, about middle of the turn out. I believe he's really looking for a good, solid drive off of those turns, and we're going to hop on early, and we're just going to see how Blair is wanting to drive that. You can see not turning that wheel a whole lot, so he's trying to find the line that's just going to give him the best tire savings that he possibly can. As you can see, nice, clean track out in front of this driver.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing too is we go down, at first it was just the top 10. The top 10 were single file riding that bottom. Now the whole field is now single file now, all the way to the back.
Yeah,
everybody just hugging that bottom line and
saving those tires, right? So we're going to take a look back here as it looks like Honeycutt is going to be in a battle. Dennis Kane right in front of him. Dennis Kane looking underneath of that 82 truck. And again,
as I say that, we start seeing guys go too wide.
Yeah, they're, when you get a good run on somebody, especially the exit of Charlotte, you're going to want to take that run, and you're going to try to push that driver up, because if you can stay down at the bottom like Dennis Kane is and push that 82 truck up to the top, it's only going to keep benefiting you lap after lap as it looks like he's going to fall back in line. That top line looks like, Russ, it's going to be pretty strong on fresh tires early on.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. A lot of guys going up there making passes already. I mean, we're only 4 laps into a 105 lap race, and guys are already making moves to the front. Looks like.
Looks like Kinsley Smith is going to turn purple that last lap with a 30.83. He is going to be your fastest driver on the track right now. As you can see him really in tow with Blair Holloman. And again, this has to be the gauge. And I really want to go on board with Kinsley because one of those things that we want to look out for, let's see if we can get on with Kinsley, is how Kinsley's going to manage this fresh air. You can see him kind of blipping the throttle as he's going to follow in the foot tracks. See how he just tries to duck that truck right below, keep that thing pinned right down to the white line.
Yep, you definitely want to be on that bottom, and if he can comfortably be there and just follow behind Blair, he's also catching some draft too, so he's going to be able to save just a little bit of fuel. But if you're comfortable running right there right now, I would just stay right there. Just conserve your tires, conserve a little bit of fuel. You can make that pass if you wanted to later on in the race.
No, that's a great point that you have, and you can see that Blair is certainly taking that higher line in and coming down. Really want to go back just one more lap here. I want to watch this this turn 3 and turn 4. As you can see, Blair likes to take this line and get on that throttle a little bit early, and you'll watch him push up. So he just kind of pushes up, and Kinsley did the same thing. It's where you kind of get back on that throttle just a little bit too soon or sooner than what you normally do, and it doesn't pin that truck down. And that's one of those struggles that you have at Charlotte, is where you get back on that throttle just a little too soon, and it just pushes that truck up and really makes you put a lot of will in it, and that's where that right front starts to come into play.
Yeah, and then if you get on the throttle a little too soon too, depending on your angle, that's where you also risk that rear end stepping out on you too. These things are very light in the back, and they'll step out on you very, very easily.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look. And we're going to start to drive up some little driver details here as Troy Thomas from Boone, North Carolina is going to be, looks like he's in a good spot. Again, just really trying to save those tires. Had a great qualifying effort here, and it looks like Andrew Teft is right behind him in that 98 truck. And Andrew just gonna stay in draft, try to stay close to this truck, and I think everybody's just kind of in a fill out mode here, Russ. Just trying to make sure that these tires are going to last and make it to that first green flag pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if you're outside the top 5 right now at this point, 10 laps into this race, you're kind of wanting to settle in, get yourself in a good rhythm, save those tires. As I said, I'm going to say that a lot. Save those tires. Try to maybe conserve a little bit of fuel, and try to make sure that you can make it to that first pit stop. See where you're at there.
Yeah, and I will tell you that that you can see this bottom line really starting to work for Kinsley Smith. Blair is going to take that defensive high line. As you can see, really what these drivers are trying to do here is trying to size up what this is going to take to make some passes later on in the run. Is Blair's going to take that defensive higher line really early in this race. We're about 11 laps in, but Kinsley Smith is wrapping the bottom, doing a fantastic job, staying in the draft of Blair and getting some fantastic runs. So I think you're going to see Kinsley be able to make this pass work over time, as I believe Blair being right up against that wall is going to really start to hurt those tires. We're going to take a little bit of a step back here as Truth Hoke is now under fire by this 01 machine of Sean Dunaway. Sean looking underneath of Truth early.
Yeah, one thing I was just looking at was trying to see, we're 12 laps in, trying to see the comers and goers, and excuse me. Yeah, and Sean's up 2 positions now already in this race, looking for 3. Brandon Sanfilippo, he started P5. He's up to P3 now. A lot of guys are making some early moves.
Yeah, and
There's
it looks
one
like... Go ahead.
biggest mover, it looks like, is Alex Gates right now running P16, up 5 spots from the start of this race.
Yeah, let's go back here and take a look at Alex. As it looks like Alex is going to look underneath of the 77 machine, as he's going to go to the outside of the 83 truck and make a powerful move, making that pass Look at Alex just in the 77 truck, just working that outside, about that middle, that low middle line. As you can see him kind of come in, he is not wrapping that wall. You can see he's allowing that truck to drift up just a little bit, but he's kind of staying right in the middle, right above that seam, about a half a lane above the seam, and really getting some fantastic runs off in this truck. So put this driver up to 15th now.
Yeah, yeah, that middle lane may be the way to go. I mean, it's kind of that middle marker between tearing your tires up and saving your tires on the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. So he is your biggest mover, Alex Gates, up 6 positions. Again, Sean Dunaway is going to be up 3. Truth is going to be in tire saving modes. He is down 3 positions so far from where his starting position was, but again, probably in tire saving mode. Troy Thomas, I would assume that Troy is in the same mode here, dropping 2 positions from his start. Andrew Teft is going to be your driver in 7th, doing a fantastic job. He is up 1 position from where he started. We've got a battle here with the 99 to 61. Battle for second. Let's go up and take a look.
We got a battle for second too.
Wow, you can see that Sean Dunaway is really marching his way to the front. He has found something on this lower line, as not only is he passing Sanfilippo, but he is going to look underneath the Kinsley Smith going into turn 1 at the bottom line. So he has found something hugging this blue and white line at the bottom. So you can see Kinsley's now moved himself up to the top to take a more defensive line, as Blair was earlier on in this race.
I wonder if something might have happened to Brandon Sanfilippo there, because he was up there battling Kinsley for P2, and now I see he's dropped off just a little bit back to P4.
Yeah, throw a blanket under these top 4 drivers, as now you can see the 01 truck is going to take a run underneath the Kinsley Smith, and he is going to go for second position. Blair Holloman right there. If he gets a good run, he's going to try to make a 2 for 1. He's not going to be able to. Blair's going to get a great run coming out of this turn, but put that 01 up there.
Looks like Kinsley got in the wall.
Just a little bit. Gets Brandon Sanfilippo in front of him. Now Kinsley's going to fall back to 4th.
Some really good action going on up front right now, early on in this race, John.
And it looks like
Got
you're
a battle for the lead right now.
Yeah, Sean Dunaway, again, really working that bottom line. He is going to take that lead. I believe he's going to lead that last lap, and he is going to be able this is tires here, Russ. This is a driver that has chosen to wrap that bottom line, and I believe with 18 laps in, he has found a great pace. Sanfilippo is going to follow him. Do not count out this number 12 truck, as he is going to now start looking underneath of Blair Holloman for that second spot.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Blair running that top side as long as he has been, if his tires are starting to wear out. Looks like these guys who have been hugging the bottom the whole race with Sean and Brandon, they're marching their way to the front, and they've got there quick.
And don't look now, but Troy Thomas, who we thought was saving tire, is now starting to put some pressure on Kinsley Smith for that next spot for that 3 truck. Truth Hoke still in the mix here, as both of those drivers, I believe, fell back just a little bit to save some tires. But now Andrew Teft coming underneath the Truth Hoke, wanting that 6th position.
And these guys are moving. They save tire at the beginning. Now they're trying to march their way to the front and see what those trucks can do after a few laps of saving tire.
Comers and goers, as you can see now, Sanfilippo saving those tires, now taking a little peek underneath of this 01 of Sean Dunaway. Going to have to fall back in line, but these 2 drivers really saved their tires early on, and it looks like 20 laps on, they are going to be the class of the field so far, as we are going to continue to take a look at them, as Blair Holloman way back now from these drivers.
Yeah, the top 2 have checked out a little bit from P3. It looks like they're just going to run together and try to stretch that lead out a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Blair's going to be about a 10th, about a second behind here. So about 1.2 seconds now, as it looks like Brandon is going to kind of fall in line right behind this 01 truck. I believe he's pretty content right now. He's really good on the entry of these turns, as you can see. But that 01 of Sean Dunaway really has a great drive off. I do believe that Brandon, at this point in this stint, is going to have a little bit better tire than this 01 truck. I think it's just going to be able to find a way around him.
Yeah, I think so. And Brandon's a very patient driver. I've watched him. Oh, as we got Truth Hope getting a little loose back there, getting up into the wall. I think he got a little help there, but yeah, Brandon Brandon is a very patient driver. I have, like I said, I've raced with him in before, and he's a patient driver. He'll pick his spot and he'll take it. As it looks like he has.
Yeah, it looks like
It's
Truth
like
Hoke is going to take this down into the pit. So we've got some major damage on that as Brandon Sanfilippo is going to take over the lead. We apologize for not watching that pass, but Truth Hoke going to have to take that truck down pit road for some repairs as Brandon Sanfilippo now going to take the lead, and not only just take the lead, it looks like what has happened to Sean Dunaway as Sean on
Sean is not on the apron down there. He's got some kind of a problem going on right now. He is super loose down there. I don't know if he got into the wall or what happened, but he definitely is having problems back there.
Yeah, you can see a lot of left front damage on that truck. So I'm not sure if maybe him and Sanfilippo got into a bit of a tussle, as I do not see anything coming up where they got into a wreck, but you do see some damage on the left front of this O1 machine again, and some right rear quarter panel damage on that truck as he comes around to get a pit. Again, we do have a fast repair in this series, so that might be what's going to happen here. Is we're going to go back up front, and we are going to take a look at Troy Thomas, who has now passed Blair Holloman, put this 3 truck into P2.
Yeah, he's making moves too. He's moved his way up to second from fourth. I mean, he had a 4th place starting spot, so he's up 2 positions. Just looks like he's settling in and trying to track down Brandon Sanfilippo at this point.
Yeah, we have had some action so far tonight, folks. We've got Truth Hoke getting into the wall, having to take an early pit. And then we had our leader, Sean Dunaway, have to pit early. I'm not certain if that was something with maybe him and Sanfilippo, but he is in the pits a little bit early. And we've got some comers and goers. Let's go right back here to 4th position as the 98 truck starting to put some pressure on Blair Holloman. As now Andrew Teft saving those tires, Russ, now up 4 positions looking for P3.
Yeah, he's on the move too. See, he's players under attack by him. He's riding that high side a little bit. We know that there's definitely speed up there, but with Blair running up there early, I'm pretty sure he's used those tires up. I mean, we're 27 laps into this race now. Now he's running down there on the bottom trying to manage what he can, but here he goes. He's going to make that pass on Blair.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Andrew, really, really intelligent drive into that turn as he did not take that super high line right up against the wall. He stayed really close about middle of the line there on the 32 as to kind of suck him back just a little bit out of the draft and use that ability to not only pull the 32 truck back, but to propel him a little bit forward. And I will tell you that he has turned in some pretty quick lap times, much faster than your 2nd place driver, Troy Thomas here. So it won't be long before Troy's going to be under attack by him. We're going to go right back here to the 5th position as here you go, your points leader in Brandon Honeycutt, up 8 spots, Russ, right now running in 5th.
Yeah, he started in the middle of the field. I think he was another one who was just trying to save some tire there in the beginning, and now he's starting to make his march to the front. I mean, one thing I am noticing is this track temp is slowly starting to rise. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to these guys as this track temperature keeps going up.
Yeah, it is going to get slipperier and slipperier as we go along and the track temperature goes up. Alex Gates, let's go back and check on him. I think earlier he was up 8 positions, now up 9. Alex running in the 12th spot. Now, so far for the race, this is your driver up more positions than anyone else in this 77 truck, doing a fantastic job here tonight. And it looks like right now, Brandon Sanfilippo on an island all on his own here, Russ, up 3.1 seconds to your 2nd place driver. He is turning about 33 O's when your 2nd and 3rd turning 33 2s and 33 5s. So he's a couple of tenths a lap faster than your 2nd place driver.
Yeah, I think he's just on cruise control at this point. He got that bigger lead there, a little while ago, and I think he's just kind of settled into his own little groove, and he's not looking back. He's just riding right now at this point.
Yeah, really saving some tires. You can see him. We are on board with him now, and just hardly turning that wheel on entry, which is a fantastic job by him using that brake to get that truck turned. throttling up here and you can just see those tires are in good shape. He is not struggling with that truck at all. He is just out for a cruise. So I believe you're going to see this driver continue to extend this lead as we take a lot of lessons from this first stint. And I think that you're going to see some changes after this first pit stop. But we're going to go right back here, Russ, because it looks like Andrew Teft has now made that pass, and he is going to be a second spot. And don't look now, but Brandon Honeycutt is going to make that pass on Blair Holloman for third.
Yeah, noticing we got some green flag pit stops already starting, so some of these positions may be coming from those, but we'll see what happens when all these green flag pit stops start cycling out as we see Kinsley Smith now on pit road.
Kinsley Smith's going to be on pit road. Matt Bettler joining him on pit road in that 311 truck. So we definitely have some, as it looks like we're going to have the leader here coming in, and he is going to come in on lap 33. That is going to turn your lead over to Andrew Teft, getting those critical points for the season championship, starting to lead a lap here. No telling how much fuel he has saved in this truck, but as you can see, a lot of other drivers coming in. We'll keep a eye on them. Jesse Fox in as well in that 13th position.
Laps are clicking down for this first stint here, and like you said, Alex out there or Andrew out there, leading right now. You got to get all those points that you can get anytime you can take.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see, it looks like Honeycutt, remember that 01 of Sean Dunaway in just a little bit earlier in this race, having some sort of trouble a couple of laps in. I believe we were about 24 laps in when he had to come in, and he is going to get run all the way down the track by that 60 of Lee Campbell to make that pass. So obviously that 01 truck has a lot fresher tire than some of these others, as does the 82 truck that's going to come around now. But, Brandon Honeycutt's going to come in. Lee Campbell sideways, trying to get every single half second that they can get, just sliding their way onto the pit road. Fantastic job by that 60 and that 13 truck to hang on to that. That's going to turn this over to Kirby Wainscott.
Yeah, it's going to, it kind of makes me wonder if there's may possibly be any pit road penalties coming from that for speeding. If they're getting loose or locking up or anything like that, it'd be interesting to see if everybody was able to woe it down enough to get down to pit road speed there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. As you can see that we're going to have several drivers in. Dennis Kane's going to come in. Alex Teff going to come in now. So we are through green flag pit stops. I do believe that your driver in Brandon Sanfilippo is going to be your overall leader once all of these pit stops are done. As you can see on that ticker on the top, underneath of the name, you can see the pit. And actually, you're going to have Sean Dunaway is going to come out your leader. It's going to just depend on how fast he is going to be setting lap times versus what Sanfilippo will have with much, much fresher tires.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the fact of how hard you're going to push after coming out of that pit too. And you want to push it enough to give yourself a sizable lead till those tires come in, or are you going to try to save a little bit and hope that the tires last you a little bit longer?
Yeah, Sean, with that earlier incident, showed a lot of speed driving through the field and taking over that first position. Him and Sanfilippo probably getting into it with left front damage, Russ. I would say they probably had a little bit of an issue there on a pass, but all is good. We take the fast repair or clear some damage out, and this truck is going to take that lead over. And I'm just going to keep you up to date on some of these lap times. As Sean Dunaway, last lap turning a 31.9. Brandon Sanfilippo turning a 31.5, Troy Thomas at a 31.4. So this driver sitting back in third is probably your fastest truck out on these fresh tires.
Yeah, I mean, Sean came down. He's got about 14 laps or so on his tires right now. So, he's going to have this lead, but he's obviously going to have to pit a lot sooner than Brandon Sanfilippo or any of them guys that just made their pit stop. So he'll hold on to this lead for now, but eventually he'll have to yield that back over and down pit road again.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to keep rolling through this field to talk about some of these drivers. Robert Yost in this 83 machine. He is in 5th position now. Robert just doing a fantastic job so far this season. that's had some really good runs. You know, we called the Talladega race. He was right up there in the mix as well. So coming out in fifth, Alex Gates, we talked about him earlier, up now as we can show up 15 positions, and he is going to be showed in the sixth position. Philip Archibald is going to be in seventh. Honeycutt coming in just a little bit later than all those trucks in front of him, now sitting in the eighth position. Andrew Teft was your leader coming into the pits after Sanfilippo went in, is going to be sitting in ninth, and rounding out your top 10 is going to be Lee Campbell in that 60 machine.
And I'll tell you what, Alex Gates up 15 spots. That's an impressive run to have so far this early in a race. I mean, we're not quite halfway yet, and he's already up 15 spots. I'd keep an eye out for him in the long haul of this race.
Yeah, I completely agree. We're going to continue to go through the field here at Rowan. Lloyd is going to be in 11th position, and he is going to be up. Well, he's down one spot, so he started in 12th, or I'm sorry, he started in 10th, and he is down one position in 11th. But up 10 positions is Rick Webb in this 12th, in this number 54 truck. And then we've got Truth Hope. Truth having that earlier issue here, Russ. Looks like he's rebounded just a little bit. Still on the lead lap here in 13th, down 11 spots from where he started.
Yeah, I mean, he's 13, almost 14 seconds behind the race leader right now, but there's still plenty of time for him to get back up there, especially if we happen to have a caution or anything like that. I mean, he's definitely not out of it yet.
No, he is not. As you can see now, Blair Holloman making it underneath of the 33 of Mazel. But then we've got Curtis Ecker. Curtis in that 8 truck doing a fantastic. I believe this is a very similar scheme to what Dale Jr. had run in these trucks. It does look like now Truth again might be in the wall or has some damage as he slows and allows some of these trucks to get by.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look back and see if maybe he got into the wall again here.
Yeah, Jesse Fox, as we continue to go through the field, Jesse Fox here in the 69 truck from Jasper, Indiana. Kirby Wainscott, 20th position. Kirby down one spot from his starting position in the number 10 truck. Hugh Escobar is going to be a 21st. Matt Metler in 22nd. Matt, your voice of Thursday nights for the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. Paul Shaw from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in the 23rd position. Ryan's going to be in 24th, and then Kinsley is going to be in 25th. Need to probably take a look at Kinsley and see what happened to that driver, as he had a fantastic run early on, was fighting for the lead. Now back here just saving tire. I'm trying to see if he had any additional pit stops needed, but I cannot see anything.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think he might have gotten loose down through one of the corners earlier on, and I don't think he lost it, but I think he got down below that the bottom line down there, might have hit the apron a little bit, got a little sideways.
Yeah, he is still falling back though. As you look, Kinsley Smith passing Truth Hope now. So certainly something with that 55 truck has either made him back up just a little bit, maybe saving fuel in that truck. Let's see if we can go on. See if I can find this gentleman. And it looks like Truth.
I would say I took a look at him, and I really didn't see anything that would have caused him to fall back quite as much. I didn't see him get into the wall or have any kind of contact with anybody else. So he could be very well saving fuel or saving tires, but I didn't see any real cause for him to be falling back as fast as he did there.
Truck sounds good. It does seem like he's got a little bit of an issue right at the apex of a little push condition, but nothing more than anyone else. So we'll keep an eye on Truth as we go along. Let's go back up front where Brandon Sanfilippo is now going to take over this lead. And he is going to set sail. As we look now at a 1.5 second over Troy Thomas, Sean Dunaway climbed his way all the way back up to third. with about 2.5 seconds back. Gates is going to be fourth, and Robert Yost is going to be sitting in fifth. Now, as you can see, Troy getting loose on the exit of 2. I will tell you, let's see if we can take a look at the weather, as it looks like this track just getting hotter and hotter, as we're 121 degrees track temperature right now. So these trucks definitely feeling some right front burn, and feeling some loose exit conditions, from what we can see out here from these drivers.
Yeah, I've been watching the weather and I've seen that track temperature go up a little bit. So it's probably, well, got a little loose there. It's probably putting a little bit of extra wear on the tires. So I'm sure these guys are going to start really trying to pay attention to their tire wear as we're approaching almost halfway in this race. The one thing, like we were just talking, Alex Gates again up another couple of spots. He's now up 17 positions since the start of this race, currently running in P4.
Yeah, Alex marching his way to the front, as he is now going to take over Sean's position in third. And you're going to see Robert Yost is going to follow him through, as it looks like Sean trying to drive his way back up front. And now he does have those older tires, and this is just going to be a confluence of cars. You can see Andrew Teft fighting his way through. Brandon Honeycutt right below him. Lee Campbell right on the back of him, as these drivers try to get around this 99 truck.
Yeah, we got some pretty good action going on here on the track right now.
Yeah, 99 looks like he is starting to fade just a little bit. So you've got Andrew Teft, Brandon Honeycutt right in his tire tracks. Lee Campbell making that pass as well. You got the 01 of Sean Dunaway with some older tires. So you're going to see him continue to fall back. He right now running in the 5th position. As you can see, Brandon Honeycutt now is going to take a look underneath of Andrew Teft.
Brandon looking to move on up. He had that sketchy little pit entrance there a little while back, but looks like he got them fresh tires on. He's looking to try to work his way back up front now.
Yes, he is, and you always have to be careful with this gentleman here, and he's driving this 13 truck. He is always going to be looking to save tires, as now Andrew Teft going to look underneath of Sean Dunaway. He's going to pull away from Honeycutt just a little bit, and he's going to look to take over this 5th position and put Andrew Teft into 5th. Honeycutt going to follow.
Got a whole gaggle of them back here. They're fighting for position right now. Probably the best action on the track right now at this point.
Yeah, Lee Campbell, again, is going to start peeking underneath of Sean as he continues to fall back. I believe you're going to see Sean, as we got a driver really low on the track here, and this is going to cause some problems as these drivers at full speed are going to have to contend with that. But Sean continuing to fall back. Lee going to look on the outside.
Looking up there on the outside, trying to see if he can make something happen here to get around Sean.
Looks like he's going to make that pass work, and it looks like we're going to have this 44 truck, bobbling just a little bit. It's going to swerve right up into the center of the track. No harm, no foul, everybody good. And it looks like we're going to go back up here to Brandon Honeycutt, because he is on the back end of Andrew Teft still, looking underneath of that 98 machine to see if he can make this pass for 5th position.
Yeah, he definitely wants to get up there and give himself a shot now. We're past halfway at this point, so now we're on the back half of this race, and now you want to try to get yourself up there and put yourself in a position to win this thing at the end.
Yeah, with 50 laps to go, I got to tell you, these drivers really battling it out here. 2nd through 5th, really tight. Some comers and goers really through 7th now at this point. But Brandon Sanfilippo just setting sail right now, up 3.8 seconds to your 2nd place of Troy Thomas. So he has found something here. We're going to go right back up and watch him out in clean air. He's got that clean air right on the nose of this truck, able to kind of set the pace how he wants to, drive off of that right rear as he's going to get loose on the exit of 2. You can tell Brandon not saving any of the throttle on this 12 machine, as he is standing on that puppy coming out of turn 2.
I was just gonna say, he's got such a nice, comfortable lead right now. It's kind of just to the point of maintaining and taking care of your stuff. But I don't know if it may have been a one-off situation, but he definitely wasn't saving anything there.
Well, I will tell you, wide open on that throttle put him at a 30.9 for that lap, and everybody else in the 31s except for Blair. Blair now back to 15th position. And again, there are some storylines that we have missed here. We know that Blair was burning tires a little bit earlier on, maybe a little slow through the pits, but he is back out here, Russ, and he is in 15th spot. Still your fastest truck that last lap, but mired back here in traffic.
Yeah, you get back there in that traffic, you get that dirty air on you, it can bog you down quite a bit. It doesn't really matter how fresh of tires you get in that dirty air, it's just gonna hurt you.
Yeah, we're going to go right back up here for second position. It looks like Alex Gates continuing his march up to the front. Now eyeing that 3 machine. He has caught the draft of him. Brandon Honeycutt not far behind in 4th. And then you've got Andrew Teff that's going to be super close there in 5th as well. So this top 5 starting to shake up as we've got some drivers really starting to push. And you got Lee Campbell right on the back end of this 98 truck.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I'm very impressed with how Alex Gates has been running this race. He's been kind of like that groove and a half off of the bottom almost the entire race, and he's really made it work for himself. I mean, he's up to P3 right now. Like I said, we're going to keep an eye on him as a possible contender at the end of this thing if anything were to happen to Brandon Sanfilippo.
Oh, as we got one spinning. Let's see if we can find out what was going on.
No caution.
Was that Troy Thomas? Troy Thomas, your second place driver, having an incident. We're going to back this up real quick, and we're going to find out, did he just get loose coming out of 4 and has wrecked that machine right into the tire barrier? As it looks
like even
Alex Gates going to get into the outside wall, as it looks like he possibly could have taken the air off of the back end of this 3 truck. And that is going to put 2 of these drivers in some serious trouble. As you can see, again, he just comes around there, Russ, and I think he just sucked the air right off of the back of him. He lost the air himself. He goes into the wall. Troy Thomas into the water barrels. Your second and third place truck drivers now in the pits getting that fast repair and conceivably out of the race right now.
Yeah, I mean, if we stay green and clean, their races are pretty much done. I mean, but that's also opened up now a 5.4 second lead for Brandon Sanfilippo over Brandon Honeycutt. I'm really surprised that we didn't see a caution there with that contact into the barrels, but we're still clean and green.
Well, I will tell you, we might not be clean, but we are certainly green, as it looks like, Troy Thomas with a fantastic run. Alex Gates, up 18 positions, looking for that second place. Looks like we have maybe a little bit of net code, maybe a car sucking the air off of that right rear quarter panel of Troy Thomas. But however it happened, 2 trucks in the pits with heavy damage. And that is your second and third place truck drivers. As now Sanfilippo, like you said, up 5.5 seconds on Brandon Honeycutt. That's going to put Andrew Teff here in the 3rd position. And you do have
Sanfilippo out in front, Honeycutt running second, Teff third. That incident right there did end the day for Troy Thomas.
Yes, it does look like Troy Thomas, unfortunately, is going to end his day. I did see Alex Gates back out here on the track with his fast repair completed on that truck. Nice and brand new, but of course now in 23rd position, and he is going to need, down 2 laps, he's going to need something to be able to get. He's going to need to catch the leader and then get the lucky dog if we can find him back on the lead lap. As it looks like Sanfilippo, not to take anything away from this driver, Russ, has drove a fantastic race tonight, has been the fastest truck, I believe, most of this night, 65 laps in, still just pulling away from Brandon Honeycutt.
Yeah, like I said before, I've ran with Brandon in the past, and I know at these 1.5 miles, they're kind of his bread and butter, and it's really no surprise to me to see him out in front leading this race as this thing comes down to the end.
Yeah, it does look like, again, it's a huge benefit to be out front, able to set your own pace. Just the last lap, turning a 33.07 to Brandon Honeycutt's 33.3. So that driver putting about 3/10 onto him. But I will tell you, we're going to go right back here to the second and third position, as now Andrew Teff not too far away from Brandon Honeycutt as they are mired in traffic. And you can see the looks like the O1 machine going underneath Brandon Honeycutt on fresh tires, but that's going to put these drivers extremely close to one another.
Yeah, lap traffic can make or break you. I mean, we're 56 laps into this race. We're still caution free, and lap traffic is definitely going to be a thing to contend with. And these front runners are starting to find themselves into that lap traffic. So right now, it's going to be who can get their way around them the quickest.
Absolutely. We're going to go back here and look at your pole sitter, Blair Holloman, in the 32 truck. Still in traffic, but he is fighting his way up. He is now back up to the top 10, and he is in ninth, right behind Lloyd and Kirby Wainscott. As you can see, Alex Teft just down there on the bottom on the apron, trying to get his way back onto the track to race. But Blair's now going to look underneath of this 61 truck. So he is making his moves back up front. But whatever happened to him there on the pit road, Russ has put him so far back. If this thing goes green, he is behind the 8-ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6.5 seconds back at this point. He's definitely going to need help from a certain colored flag that we haven't spoken about yet. We don't want to speak it into existence, but yeah, I think if we stay green for the rest of this race, some of these guys are going to need some extra help.
Yeah, as we can see, pit stops starting once again under your green flag. It looks like Brandon Sanfilippo, your leader, in and out of the pits. You can see him there on his outlap. Andrew Teff once again taking over that top spot with Lee Campbell not too far behind him. I'm sure Lee probably wants to stay out, get a lead lap. But I have heard that this 98 truck is fantastic on fuel saving, as it looks like he's going to now dive down, go in the pits, and that is going to turn this thing over to Lee Campbell.
Yeah, Lee Campbell's going to get himself a lap led here as these second round of pit stops are cycling themselves out. Dennis Kane's found himself in P2, so if Lee comes down, Dennis Kane will find himself leading a lap 2.
Julia is saying, let's go, my love. The number 43 of Alex Teff. Julia, I don't know if you've seen Alex down there on the apron. Got a little loose on the exit of 2, but fantastic winner last week. Right now running in third position, only 3 seconds back from Lee Campbell. So he is doing a fantastic job tonight running in the top 3 as we stand. It does look like he is going to come down pit road now. All right, back up front. This is going to turn this thing over to Kirby Wainscott, as it looks like, Russ, this has been very dramatic as we've seen some of these drivers. I mean, Truth Hoke sitting on your outside of the first lane on the start, kind of getting mired back. Blair Holloman right behind him. As you can see him start to poke into the right-hand side of your screen here. Your pole sitter struggling a little bit as well. So been a very exciting night. Oh, Kirby Wainscott going to get loose on the entry. You've seen that in real time, Russ, is these drivers, when you change from that banking with hot tires and you go to that flat, really messes with these cars. Now you're going to have Blair Holloman is going to take that lead back over. It looks like you're going to see him come down pit road, as I did not hear that truck under power.
Yeah, John, I'd like to say that I have never done that coming to pit road, but if I did that, that would make me a liar.
This is one extremely tough pit road entrance to get on. Again, you're going from that high banking down to that flat part on your pit entry. Really gets those trucks upset. You're on hot tires. The thing's sliding around anyway. You're trying to get as much time as you can. It is no surprise that you've got some drivers having some difficulty getting on pit road and taking their pit stop here under green. As now you're going to see Brandon Sanfilippo still out running. Robert Yost is going to be your leader right now. Sean Dunaway is going to be in second. As these two drivers, especially Sean Dunaway here, really off cycle with what the leaders are doing.
Yeah, we know he's not gonna last for as long as some of these other guys, but maybe there's a possibility that he can uh, work his way a little strategy, but I mean, currently 16 laps on those tires, and then that fuel, and we got coming up on 30 to go. I just don't know if they could get a if he could get a 45 lap run in on a fuel tank here.
No, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. But what he can do is potentially catch a caution. And if he does that, he is right back to where he was to begin with, because you can see Brandon Sanfilippo there in fifth position, about 10.5 seconds back. Now, he's certainly going to be turning a whole lot faster lap times than what Sean can turn now. Sean with those older tires, but if he can hang on and something happens and you get a caution, all of a sudden you are the leader coming back in with some fresh rubber on, and it's a whole new ball game. It's a new race.
Yeah, I mean, even if if that were to happen, and even if Brandon in P5, who right now I believe is beyond some of the freshest tires out there, even if he were to stay out, you're going to have a definite advantage on tires to him after those pit stops. So it'd be interesting, but we've been green this whole time. So see if see if Sean can catch a lucky certain color flag that we dare not speak about.
Yeah, I do believe that Sean in this position has no other choice. I think he had to take that earlier pit stop. So if this thing goes green and it goes flag to flag, which be an amazing feat in your third race of this truck series on Tuesday nights for Racers Elite, he has no choice. You have to stay out and you have to hope for this flag. That's the only chance that you have. Is now you can see him starting to get a little pressure under with Kirby, as you saw Kirby spin on the entry to pit road just a little bit earlier. But Sean doesn't have a choice. He's got to stay out, do what he can. If he catches a caution, he's in good shape. If he doesn't, he'd have to pit, and he's going to filter back out where he should anyway.
Yeah, I mean, 78 laps into this race to still be green and not have any checkers, it's a real testament to the abilities and the skills of these drivers, especially with as hot as this track is right now.
Yeah, and as we just look at the lap times, we're going to switch this over as we can try to find. Does not look like we're going to do that. So we're just going to say that Sean last lap turning a 32.6, and you can tell Brandon Sanfilippo turning a 32.05. So right now, Sean about a half a second slower than what Sanfilippo is, but he does have a 9.5 second lead. So again, he can extend this out as long as he can, get a splash and go when he comes in, get himself back out, because he is turning some fantastic laps for the age of tires that he's got on this truck.
Yeah, and we can never say never when it comes to these types of races, as far as giving up or anything like that. He's gotta stay out there. He's got to try to see if he can get the certain color flag that we dare not talk about. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, he could come down and pit, and then we could have a certain color flag that we dare not speak about late in this race, and it could put him right back in the thing.
Yeah, I will tell you this, Andrew Teff finding some speed here late in this race, now looking underneath of this 12 truck of Brandon Sanfilippo. As I hear Sanfilippo, he has got to be with that drive up on the exit. I'm going to guarantee you Sanfilippo is clutching this truck. I'm going to go on board with him.
And I think he got into the wall in that last set of corners too.
There you go. Hear him on the clutch trying to save some fuel. I believe Andrew Teff, with that fuel saving strategy that he had, I do believe he was at least a lap later on his pit entry than what Sanfilippo is. Sanfilippo trying to save enough fuel to make it to the end. And what happens to you, Russ, really, when you start clutching that truck is you don't have the ability for that truck to wind you down and turn down the track. So those that they're going to drift up just a little bit if they don't take that consideration. I believe that's why you saw Sanfilippo into that wall a little bit earlier. But this changes everything, as it looks like now Andrew Teff, not worrying about that, is going to put himself into third. Let's go on board with him and see if he clutches.
That's about that time in the race where these guys are going to try to stretch that fuel out as long as they possibly can. be interesting to see if anybody's going to be able to make it to the end of this. 23 laps to go.
23 laps to go. Andrew Teft on the march. Archibald Phillip just right in front of him here. You can hear Andrew Teft. He is on the clutch as well. I don't believe he has to save as much as you can hear him on the entry to these turns clutching, but getting right back onto the throttle. So he might not have to save as much. Closing in on Sean Dunaway, which we do believe Sean is going to have to come in and pit regardless. I believe right now your overall leader is going to be this 98 truck after he makes his pass on Archibald. This might be your first truck here, Russ, that can make it the rest of the way.
It's quite the possibility if he can save just enough fuel to make it to the end of this, and he's slowly but surely pulling a little bit away from Brandon Sanfilippo back there currently in P4. But you know, it's I'm assuming here within the next couple of laps that we're going to see the leader on pit road, because I'm not sure how much farther he can stretch this thing out.
I agree with you, as Archibald now is going to be on pit road, so he's going to start falling now. Put Andrew Teft up to second. Brandon Sanfilippo is going to be third. Lee Campbell in fourth. Honeycutt's going to be fifth. Dennis Kane looks like he's going to be seventh. Alex Teft is going to come up to the sixth position around Dennis Kane. As you can see, these drivers, I do believe all of these drivers, Russ, are going to be able to make it. This is going to shape up with 21 laps to go. And it looks like Sean Dunaway down pit road. That is going to turn your race lead over to Andrew Teft, who's going to have a 2.5-second lead over Brandon Sanfilippo. Your fastest truck, I would say, under just natural raw pace tonight, having to clutch and save fuel. So is Andrew, just doing a masterful job of keeping that truck down at the bottom, saving just as much fuel as he needs to. But Russ, this might come down to who is saving enough, who is clutching enough by the end of this race with 20 to go.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a very exciting ending to this race to see who can make it and who's not able to. I mean, and we have a caution. We have our first caution of the race.
Hugh Escobar
that
looking
just took
like
all of that out the window.
Oh, on the exit, and that's going to pick up Kirby Wainscott, the 72 truck, coming out of the pits.
That was a hard hit.
And unfortunately, Russ, I do believe that it's going to spell trouble for your 0-1 of Sean Dunaway. As he was coming in, he had already made Sean Dunaway is going to be at least a lap down here as he made his way onto pit road and back out. I believe Paul is going to be your lucky dog. So Sean going to be trapped a lap down. Andrew Teft coming across and I got to tell you, that 98 truck did not want to see that caution coming.
No, he didn't. But you know something though? Sean Dunaway just made his pit stop. He is a lap down right now, but he just made his pit stop. So he could take this wave around, and if any of those leaders come down pit road, it could put him right back at the top of this thing, and he could just floor this thing to the end if he's still got that truck.
I do believe it looks like he's going to take the wave around right now. He's going to move on around. I do believe every one of these truck drivers should come in and get 4 new tires. Sean is going to have to come from the back on 2-3 lap tires, so you're not going to see a whole lot of change there, but he's going to be at the back of this pack. Now, what this does do for Sanfilippo is this going to help him out tremendously as he was having to clutch a little bit more, save a little bit more fuel than what Andrew Teft was going to do. So now we get to go on just sheer pace and see what these drivers are going to be able to come up with, as we're going to have a shootout with about 15 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens now. I mean, you know, all these leaders on pit road, they're fueled up. They got those 4 fresh Goodyear tires. It's got to come down to who can handle these last 15 or so laps best. And you know, there's nothing short between Andrew Teft and Brandon Sanfilippo right now. They're clearly the 2 fastest trucks out on the track at this point. But you know what they say. You know, cautions breed cautions. So we'll see if we get any more. And after this restart, I mean, you know, still 15 laps to go. Anything could happen.
Anything can and will happen. You know, it's just amazing how some of these races, you know, you can go really flag to flag with no problems, and all of a sudden you have a caution. It's always tightening things up at the end. You know, these emotions are going to be pretty high. The nerves are going to be pretty high. Andrew Teft has got to be thinking, you know, I've got to get a good jump. I need to get out in front of Sanfilippo. And then if you've been watching him run, you know, my opinion, if I'm that 98 truck, I'm going to try to suck right down to that white line, feed dirty air to that 12 truck, because that's where he likes to run, force him to pass me on the high side. But I've got to think, if you're this 98 truck, you know, if you can stay up high and defend too, do that as well, because no matter what, with 16 laps to go, this is all go. This is all gas pedal. You don't see tire wear until about 15 laps into these runs anyway. So this is just all throttle now.
Yeah, it's go time now. 15 to go. Got those fresh tires. There's no saving nothing. Now we're going for the checkers.
Yeah, you're going to find every little avenue that you can find. If you're Lee Campbell, you want to get a great start, because if you can challenge that 12 machine on the entry to 1, not only is that going to help you out, that's going to allow that 98 truck to sneak away just a little bit. But for Lee, he wants to be second. Alex Teft was your last week's winner. He's 43 machine. He is on the outside there in 4th position. I believe that you're going to find that 43 machine probably took just right sides only to be able to jump up in front of him. Then you've got your points leader of Brandon Honeycutt sitting right there in 5th place. The 82 machine is going to start on his outside. Now, don't look now. Blair Holloman is going to be starting in the 7th position. So what was a difficult night now has an opportunity. So a lot of storylines going on here, Russ, as we get ready to go back green.
Yeah, you know, Brandon Honeycutt sitting there in P6. You know, you never count him out of a race at the end of it. You know, I know a lot of guys that I've talked to about him before, you know, say he's got some kind of a lucky horseshoe, because he still finds himself up here at the front and in the thick of it on the end of every race. And here he is again, John.
Geico restart zone. Andrew Teft bringing him down, and he is on the loud pedal. And here we go. 15 laps left. You see these drivers sell it off into turn 1. Andrew with a fantastic start. Sanfilippo. Oh, and we've got another caution.
There it is. Cautions, breeding cautions.
Rick Webb on the restart of this. Let's see what's going to happen to him. As it looks like
we're wide.
Oh, the 44 truck going to turn left. Probably had just a little slip up and maybe a little wheel spin there, turning hard left, getting into 54 and putting him in the outside wall.
Yeah, it looked to me like the 44 may have tagged the wall a little bit there and came back down and caught that 54.
Andrew is okay with this. You know, he got a pretty good restart. Everything is going to rack and stack back up to the way that it was, but now we have a little fewer laps to go. So I do think we're going to do a little rundown here, as Andrew Teft is going to be your leader right now. Brandon Sanfilippo in 2nd position, Lee Campbell in 3rd. Alex Teft is going to be in 4th spot. Brandon Honeycutt in 5th. That is your points leader so far. Dennis Kane is going to be in 6th. Blair Holloman is 7th. Curtis Ecker is going to start back in 8th. Lloyd in 9th. And Truth is going to be in 10th.
Yeah, you know, and Sean Dunaway, you know, he's still sitting there. He's still in contention. He's sitting there in P11. Paul Shaw, he's sitting 12th right now. Matt Medler in 13th. Rob Yost in 14th. Phyllis Archibald in 15th. Hensley Smith found his way back out onto the lead lap. He's sitting in 16th. Tim Wright in 17th. And biggest mover to the possibly biggest baller of the race there is Alex Gates, man. He had that huge gain of like 17 positions, you know, and then got caught up in that one little incident. Finds himself back here, back on the lead lap in P17. Kirby Wayne-Scott's sitting there in 18th. Kensley Smith's now back on the lead lap in P19th. And current lucky dog position sits with Charles Mizell in P20.
Yeah, it looks like Charles is going to get that wave around, as it looks like he just took it. So put the 20 trucks here on the lead lap, and it looks like we got Robert Yost is going to go down pit road. We've got quite a few takers down pit road as well. So we're going to stack these guys back up. It looks like these drivers are going to go green with about 12 laps to go left in this race. This is, again, week 3 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Clean and green till about 20 laps to go, with then little small bobble on the exit of pit road is going to send the 72 truck up into Kirby Wainscott in the 10, creating that caution. And then we had another immediate caution, and here we are, folks. So if you're just tuning in, 12 laps to go. Andrew Teft is your leader. Brandon Sanfilippo is going to be in second position. Sanfilippo leading the most laps so far in this race. Andrew Teft, I believe, had this race won, Russ, just based on gas mileage there at the end before that caution come out. So we're going to see how this thing is going to shake itself out.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if I'm Andrew Teft, I'm leading this race with 12 to go, coming to the green. I am hoping to see as many cautions from here on out as I possibly can, because being the leader, I have control of the restart. So I know if, basing off that last restart, I can get a good jump on Brandon. I can get a decent jump on him, and I can get out in front of him. If I only have to do that for 2 laps, I want to see as many cautions as I can right now and just give myself that one chance to get this W at the end of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. He has been maneuvering his way around this track very, very well so far tonight. And this is not just a fuel mileage driver sitting here in position number 1, Russ. This gentleman has had some pace all night long. He has been strong all night long, so he is going to fight for this top spot and fight for this win in week 3 of this truck series here at Racers Elite. So we appreciate everybody tuning in at Racers Elite Network. And looks like, again, with about 11 laps to go, as they're going to cross that start-finish line, you are going to see these drivers and Andrew Teft bring them down. And here we go, as you're going to start to see them poke right out through the right-hand side of the screen. They are now in the Geico restart zone. Andrew bringing them to the green flag, and here we go. Great start by him and Lee Campbell. Alex Teft pushing the 12 into turn 1. 12 going to have a fantastic drive on the exit. Brandon Honeycutt still stuck down to the bottom. Alex Teft going to challenge for P2. Underneath the Brandon Sanfilippo is going to drive that truck in there as hard as he can. I believe he's going to take over that spot. He's going to be right on the back bumper of Andrew Teft. Russ, we've got a battle for the lead.
Yeah, Teft versus Teft. How did we see? Did we see this one playing out at the end here? This is starting to get intense.
Looks like Alex wanting to make it 2 in a row as he has found himself battling for the lead with Andrew. So you see Blair Holloman up high, almost touching the wall. He is on top. We are 3 wide for the 4th position. Lee Campbell, Honeycutt, and Blair Holloman really riding that wall. Blair in the wall.
Guys are giving it everything they got. 10 to go. Oh, we got one almost upside down coming into the tri-oval.
That is going to create another caution, as it looked like that 61 truck
caught a little bit of air there, John.
And there he is, just getting hit, as it looks like he just kind of come right across. Let's see if we can go back with Mr. Lloyd here, and we're just going to rewind this puppy, as it looks like he is going to, maybe Truth going to, oh, that might be a little bit of net code, and that's going to send the 61 around. It looks like Kinsley Smith going to get just a little bit of that. Oh my goodness gracious. As now we're going to go back live. With 8 laps to go, we're probably going to get 6 to go.
Things are heating up now.
The fireworks are not over, my friend, as now you can see by the 3rd caution that we have here, you're going to have a lot of drivers still jockeying for position. As you could have seen, Blair Holloman up in the wall a little bit earlier on the exit of 2, trying to fight 3 wide with Honeycutt and Lee Campbell down below him. Honeycutt getting the best of that as he's going to restart in 4th position. Lee Campbell, again, with a fantastic run so far, is going to start back in 5th. The Teft fellows, Andrew and Alex, are going to be starting 1 and 2 with Brandon Sanfilippo in third. And I got to tell you, one of the most impressive moves that I have seen so far tonight has been Alex Teff driving it in on the bottom of 1 and 2 on Sanfilippo and being able to stick that truck in there and make that pass for the second position as Sanfilippo is really eating on the outside. Madison in the chat saying, go Sanfilippo, and I'll tell you, he has had a fantastic race so far, and if he can close this out with a podium, you've got to be extremely happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon all night long has been the class of the field, but that move by Alex Teff there just showed that he's got just about as much power as Brandon does at this point, and he's just now starting to flex it.
Yeah, some of these drivers will certainly run that way. They pick their spots to race, and they pick their spots to find time to generate speed, and he certainly did that, making a fantastic move on the lower end of Brandon Sanfilippo. So some fantastic racing. You're going to have Honeycutt starting on fourth. He's going to be on the outside. That is your points leader right now. So he's going to start on the outside. And I've got to imagine that Brandon is going to be tucked up right underneath of Andrew Teff, looking for that green. And when he does, he's going to try to push him in, do the same thing to Alex that Alex was able to do to him, drive that thing off on the inside and come out in second. Then you never know what's going to happen from there on.
Yeah, I wonder if if that move from Alex maybe left a little bit of a sour taste in Brandon's mouth, and he kind of wants to get that back, because that was a very bold and quick move by Alex, and he made that work. But this is kind of an interesting little setup for this restart. We've got Captain Teft on the front row, and then we've got Brandon and Brandon on the second row. It's kind of funny.
What I think that is kind of funny. What I think it does show you though with Sanfilippo is that move is possible. And so you can hit that, and you know that it's going to be able to stick. So if one truck does it, maybe another truck can do it as well. Honeycutt, he's going to be all throttle. Dennis Kane sitting back there, Lee Campbell, Blair Holloman. We are going to have a fantastic finish. As the big sub in chat saying, go number 61. And it looks like we are going to go back
wild ride
with, yes, he did. I will tell you, if you did not see that wreck earlier, 61 truck almost on its top as he was coming through the tri-oval there with a pretty impressive wreck. So here we go, Russ. Let's line these trucks back up. 5 to go when they take the green flag. Andrew Teff still leading. Alex on his outside. Sanfilippo in third, and then Honeycutt is going to be in fourth.
Yeah, visors down, belts tight. Let's go racing, boys.
Yeah, sometimes the only thing you can do here is just really put everything out of your mind and just focus on your gas pedal, your brake pedal, and hit your lines here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As now you can see these trucks start to poke out of the right-hand side. Andrew Teff bringing them into the Geico restart zone under throttle, and here we go. 5 laps to go. Andrew with a fantastic jump. Sanfilippo did not get the jump that he needed. Alex is going to be in behind the 98. Sanfilippo going to dive it down and stick it on the bottom. There's going to be a battle for 2 on the exit.
Brandon Honeycutt and Brandon Sanfilippo side by side, as now Alex looking to the inside of Andrew for the lead going into turn 3.
Alex really finding that bottom line works, and the 98 truck is going to fight back on the outside 2 by 2 as we come underneath of the start-finish line. This is going to be a battle. Honeycutt now is going to poke underneath of the 43 truck. It is all gas pedal from here, Russ, as they continue to fight. Andrew is going to be able to sneak away just a little bit, and I see some net code.
A wreck back there. It looked like somebody blinked out and caused, I don't know how that happened, but caused something, and got up there into, looks like Blair Holloman shot him up into the wall hard.
Major wreck. Let's see if we can go back and take a look at what happened, as it does look like from what I saw was a little bit of net code, and then just someone blinked out and just completely took out this 32 truck, unfortunately. As it looks like the 8 truck is going to get loose. Dennis Kane underneath of him, loose, nowhere to go, and oh, it just looks like maybe he alt F4, but the 8 truck going to get into the 32. The 82 going to come around sideways. And then the melee just ensues. Oh, we've got trucks running
Wow.
over other trucks. It just looks like the 8 of Curtis Ecker. Let's see if we can go back. It looks like he pops back on screen here, Russ. So,
Yeah, I think he just blinked out. I don't think he, yeah, I don't think he out for or F forward. I think he just blinked out heavily,
oh, yes, he
and
did.
there was just nothing that either one of them guys could do.
Looks like he's just loose, and he gets loose and has to check up. The 4 truck, nowhere to go, is going to get into the back of him as the 8 is loose, and that is just going to kill the 32 truck. And again, we're still blinked out. Nobody can see it. And then he's just going to pop back here on the track down into the apron with some tremendous amount of damage, as there he is. Unfortunately for Curtis and Dennis, with really nowhere to go. Curtis just driving that truck in there hard, getting loose right in the apex, creating that melee.
That's unfortunate for those guys. That's going to set us up for a green white checker attempt here, John.
Such a calm, great race early on to a now caution breeding caution slugfest. As you can see now, Brandon Honeycutt had a great run under Alex, and now it looks like Alex is going to retain that second position. And then you've got Honeycutt that's going to be running third. Sanfilippo is going to be in fourth. Lee Campbell, fantastic run so far in fifth. And look at Metler there in the 311 truck sitting in sixth. Kind of a quiet night for him. Sneaky inside of the top 10 right now, sitting in sixth position. And then Sean Dunaway worked his way up to seventh.
Yeah, so I was going to say, take a look at 2 of the next 4 drivers who have snuck their way back up into the top 10. You know, with Sean Dunaway in 7th, and then Kinsley Smith now sitting P10.
And I will tell you, that's one of those things that you talk about when you are worried about certainly points racing, and that's going to be never park a running truck. And these drivers, Kinsley Smith having some issues earlier, Sean Dunaway having some issues earlier, now being able to battle back and get some top 10s. Those are championship drives. And it's not really those ones that you win. It's more those ones that you maximize some of your losses.
Yeah, I mean, both of their cases are prime examples of never say never. You know, you get into something early, you know, your temper rises a little bit. You know, yeah, I got wrecked out early on, this and that, but you stay in it and you fight until the end of these races. And both of these guys have done that. And they found themselves back inside for a top 10 with the chance of having a great points day.
Yeah, great drives by both of those drivers. Right now, again, you know, this 98 truck is just begging for this thing to be over, as he's had a couple of really good starts as these drivers are fighting for second and third position, and that's allowed him to sneak away. And we're going to have a green-white checkered attempt here, as now Andrew Tefft is going to bring them down one more time, trying to put that 98 truck in victory lane to try to get 3 different winners so far for this season in your Tuesday Night Racers Elite Truck Series. As here we go. Coming in the Geico restart zone, Andrew with another good, solid start. Brandon Honeycutt with a good start on the bottom as well. Andrew's going to slide up to try to pick up the draft for Alex. Oh, Andrew going to drive it and get up high. I don't know if Brandon's going to have a good enough run. It looks like he is going to get there. Andrew's going to take this high side to try to defend. Alex right on the back bumper. We might go 3 wide.
Alex out better of it right there, but we've got that white flag. Now it's all or nothing. Brandon Sanfilippo sneaking his way back in there, looking down low on the bottom, looking for P3. He's not out of this fight yet either.
Everybody trying to get every single inch that they can. It looks like Brandon Honeycutt's going to get just a little bit loose. He is going to need Alex Tefft to push him if Andrew's going to get this lead. Brandon going to sell it off into the turn.
In the back of the field right now. They're wrecking in the back of the field, but these guys are coming to the checkered.
Here we go, 2 by 2. Honeycutt on the bottom, Andrew Tefft on the top. This is going to be a photo finish, as it looks like Brandon Honeycutt is going to get the win. Andrew in second position. Sanfilippo going to come in third. Alex Teft in 4th. What a fantastic drive, as it looks like Brandon, looked like Andrew just got a little bobble, sailed it up to the wall and did not get the drive off that he was looking for. As we're going to go back just real quick and take a look at, it looks like we've got the 82 truck in another accident at the end of this race, as there is just a huge, as it looks like Dennis Kane's going to get loose. We've got another wreck up front. Oh my goodness, the 77 truck is going to come up just whirlwinding and just killing a ton of trucks here at the end of this race. Wow, we are going to go back live. What a fantastic job by these drivers. And let's see if we can.
For Brandon.
That
was 3/10 of a second win over Andrew Teft.
That was an amazing finish as you go around, and I just kind of want to take a look at this race. As you can see again, you know, Andrew really on this outside pushing and digging. Alex Teft thinking about going 3 wide. There was really not an open hole for Alex to try to shoot 3. And you can see Andrew just getting just a little tight. It looks like having to bobble right there in the middle of the turn. His turn down coming out just wasn't there. Honeycutt able to stay right on the bottom. And that is going to give you the finish tonight, folks. Brandon Honeycutt taking home the win. Andrew Teft is going to come in 2nd. Brandon Sanfilippo in 3rd. Alex Teft in 4th. Matt Metler with a fantastic up 18 positions tonight, Russ, in the 5th position. Lee Campbell 6th. Sean Dunaway 7th. Kirby Wainscott is going to be an 8th. Kinsley Smith is going to rebound to 9th. And then it looks like 10th is going to be Rowan Lloyd.
Yeah, then we got Philip Archibald finishing at P11 with Paul Shaw in 12th. Blair Holloman, he had a very eventful day today. Ends up bringing it home in P13. Jesse Fox is going to bring it home 14th. Rick Webb in 15th. Charles Mazzell in 16th. Dennis Kane bringing it home 17th. Curtis Ecker in 18th. Rob Yost 19th. Alex Gates, he had a heck of a run early on in this race. Really thought he was going to be the contender there at the end of, come the end of this thing. Got caught up in that one incident. Ends up bringing it home in P20 tonight.
That is a fantastic job by that driver. 21st is going to be Tim Wright. Alex Gates, really your fastest mover, biggest mover early on in the race, is going to come home in 22nd. Ryan is going to be at 23rd. Hugh Escobar in 24th with that earlier incident on the exit of pit road. And then Troy Thomas is going to round out your top 25, as it looks like we do have our 2nd place finisher of Andrew Teft in the waiting room. So we're going to pull him up and go ahead and talk to him if we can. So Andrew, this is John and Russ in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Wow, man, I will tell you, that's one of the more enjoyable races here that I have seen and been able to call. We'll talk about the end of that, the last couple laps, in just a second. But I bet you were not wanting that caution to come out, because I believe you had everybody covered on fuel there at that before that first caution come out.
Yeah, I thought I won this thing like 5 ways to Tuesday or whatever, but yeah, it just happens sometimes. I think I overdrove 3 just a hair, and kind of had to do almost like a second lift in the middle of 3 and 4 to make the corner, and that's what did it. So just mistake on the final restart. Congrats to Brandon.
Yeah, it looked like you had some really good restarts, especially the first and the second restart were really strong. Alex there with you. It looked like you come up on that last restart. It looked like you come up, try to pick Alex up just a little bit, which was really intelligent move to try to get him closer to Brandon so you could sneak away just a little bit. Brandon getting a really good run, and it did look like just right in the end of that in 3 and 4, looked like you had to check up just a little bit to get some drive down, and that's all it took for Brandon to sneak in front of you there.
Yeah, I probably got back to the gas just a hair early, because I was actually surprised by how much grip there was on the first couple restarts, and then I I didn't think I was aggressive enough, and so I went in a little bit deeper that time, knowing that I needed to go win it, and finally overshot it that time. But yeah, good race. Can't complain about getting raced like that. It was super clean and fun.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
I
lot
had,
of fun to call, and I'm going to turn it over to Russ here in just a second. But I got to tell you, I really looked at that, when you were saving the fuel, and we rode on board with you, and we knew that you were clutching it and trying to save a little bit of gas. And I think you had about a 2.5 second lead on Brandon at that point. And I thought, man, if this thing goes green, you're certainly going to be able to take that. But man, anytime you can get a podium, it's a great night. So Russ, I'll turn it over to you.
yeah, I was just gonna say, that first caution came out there with about 20 to go, and I said, I'm like, if I told John, I said, if I'm Andrew right now, I want to see as many cautions as I can because I know that I have the control of this start, and I just want to have to do it as few times as possible. Yeah, you
Yeah,
ga- I say you gave it a good fight at the end, but I've raced with Brandon in the past, and a lot of guys say that he's got some kind of a horseshoe somewhere because no matter what kind of incidents he finds himself in a race, he finds himself there at the end, and it just happened to be the case in the night.
yeah, he and I are both pretty good on the longer runs, I think, and short runs like this aren't really our strength normally. But yeah, he was able to hook the bottom real good there, and uh, yeah, I guess I just got a little over anxious in three and just got to the gas too soon. That was it. But yeah, thank you guys for putting on the show, and um, anything else?
Yeah. So and like I said, anytime you can come away with the podium, that's great. That's going to be a great points night for you, as we're only 3 races into this season. So that puts some good points in the bank for you. You led some laps, so yeah, and you come away in second position here. So that's fantastic for you, and we certainly appreciate not only what you've done here on Racers Elite Network. So anybody that's watching now, make sure that you give us a like and a subscribe, but and putting that on, but not only doing that, but racing every single night. And we tell everybody in our broadcast that that you put on a race almost every single day. So if you're interested in racing and you're watching, make sure that you come and check us out. But we're going to turn it over to you, let you give a few shout outs, and we'll let you go and celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. We got stuff going on all the time, and yeah, coming into this race, I just needed a good finish. That was my goal. Because my first couple of races this season, I had issues, so this definitely helps in the chase picture. But yeah, I want to thank our servicemen and women and everybody that tunes in to watch and shows up to race. My family, and if anybody's interested in checking us out, just head on over to racerselite.com. You can find all the info there and get a Discord invite and just shoot me a message. We'll get you all set up.
You got it. Well, congratulations on a second place position, Andrew, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks. All right, there was your
Have a good one.
second
Thanks.
place driver of Andrew Teft. Fantastic job by him, and it does look like that we have. Looks like we've lost San
Yeah, I would say,
Filippo.
yeah, Brandon was in the waiting room, but it looks like
Oh, there
he
he
might have
is.
had to. Oh, did he come back?
Yeah, we're gonna yank him up anyway. We don't care if he's talking or not. Brandon, you got a copy? Maybe Brandon has a way. Brandon, you got a copy? All right, we'll push him back down here, Russ. I think maybe he has probably taken a little bit of a break, but I got to tell you, fantastic drive by
I
that
think.
driver as well.
Yeah, I think he was just talking to us when you booted him back out.
Let's see if we can pull Mr.
You can
Honeycutt
pull it
up.
back.
We're gonna give Sanfilippo just one more chance here to get a conversation in with us. Brandon, you got a copy?
I do.
All
Hey, guys.
right,
There he
man.
is.
We didn't know if you were taking a break or whatever, but first of all, we want to say congratulations on a third place finish. But I got to tell you, it's got to be a little bittersweet because I believe really you were the driver to beat. Talk about those early couple of stints with all the green flag pit stops that you had. Looked like you were really on cruise control out there.
Yeah, it felt really good. Coming into this race, I've always loved Charlotte, especially in trucks, and I don't think I've ever raced here when the track temperature was this hot. So um, I came in pretty nasty. I was burning my right front pretty bad and getting loose. So I had to just readjust, found it out pretty good, and I got a lead. I just didn't expect a green flag all the way through, and then by the time I got that last pit stop, I was a couple laps short on fuel, so I was clutching it into 1 and 3 going in there. So yeah, a little disappointing there. So I was happy to get that caution there that came out, but yeah, that was some really good racing right there at the end.
Yeah, it really was, and it looked like, once Alex, and we were very impressed with Alex being able to stick that on the outside. So you started on the outside, you started in P2, and Alex was a little bit below you, and how he was able to get that 43 truck to really stick that inside line while you were on the outside with a good run. I don't know how he did that, but fantastic way to battle back and get yourself a podium finish. This is a fantastic night for you, not only leading the most laps, leading laps, and then getting a podium finish. This is a great points race for you. And man, we want to give you some time here, Brandon, and give your shout outs to anybody you want to thank.
Yeah, first and foremost, you guys for putting on an awesome show. You guys do a great job in the booth. Andrew, all the work putting on the league, and Driving Extreme Incorporated, an awesome team. Love working with Kensley and Brandon. Just makes it that much more fun. And all my family and friends who watch, and San Filippo Solutions.
There you go. Rush, you have anything for Brandon?
Oh, I was just gonna say, you were real strong throughout the whole day. And I even said at the beginning of the broadcast that you might even be one to keep an eye out for, because I've seen you race in the past, and you're really good at these mile and a half, and especially at Charlotte. And you definitely showed that here tonight. It was a little, you know, I had said earlier too that I felt like maybe if the caution didn't come back out, that you were 100% going to be the driver to beat, not really knowing how low you were on the fuel. But man, you were just real. You just seemed really dominant tonight. So I just wanted to give you a kudos on a great run tonight, bud, and congrats on the P3.
Hey, appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thanks, Brandon. Have a good night.
Yep.
All right. So there we go, Russ. So week 3 in the books. We've got Brandon Honeycutt taking home a win. That is going to put him at 2 out of the 3 races so far for the season. Alex Teft, your other winner from last week. And that is going to give us a closing book on Charlotte Motor Speedway. But I got to tell you, we saw some dominant racing. We saw some fantastic racing at the end, side by side coming across the start finish line. We saw some wild wrecks. Heck, we almost had a truck up on its lid at the end of this thing. So what more could you ask for out of a week 3 race?
And I tell you, it was definitely exciting. It had a little bit of everything. It had your kind of like your classic mile and a half speedway feel. Everybody just kind of being cool, calm, collective, just driving their races. 85 laps of 85, 90 laps of green flag racing, and then all right, it's time to go when we're gonna battle now. And we had a really exciting ending to this race, and I can't say enough about how fun this one here was to call. And congratulations again to Brandon Honeycutt, Andrew Teft, and Brandon Sanfilippo on their podium finishes tonight.
Yeah, that was a fantastic job. And it looks like next week we are going to be back for Chicagoland. And then we're going to head to Darlington. And then we go to Lime Rock Park. So those are your next 3 races. Going to be a lot of fun here on the Tuesday Night Racers Elite Truck Series. So again, make sure you tune in, give us a like and a sub. And Russ, we will talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you guys in Chicago. Thanks for watching.